Right guys, so as some of you will have noticed, we've been posting a few bits and pieces about this main line from Katran, which goes under the name of Crypton Carp. Now, the reality is, like a lot of these products, the UK market is very flooded with quality gear, don't get me wrong, but we do miss out, I feel anyway, that we miss out on quite a few bits and pieces. And one of the main things that has changed my angling, and a lot of the people that I know, that have used it, has changed their angling, is this Crypton mainline. At first glance, it can look pretty alien. I'm an angler that has always paid a massive amount of attention on concealment, making sure that I'm not cutting other rods off with other lines, making sure that if I can pin things down, I will do, fluorocarbon wherever I can use it. So basically stealth has always been a massive part in my fishing. As a lot of us UK anglers, it's the same thing. When you look at this stuff, under certain lights, it can look anything from quite a bright green colour to a maroon red colour to sometimes it looks completely clear. And look, I'm not going to lie to you, I do not fully understand the science. I wish I did, but I dare say if I asked Katran what the exact science is behind this line, they'd probably tell me to go and run and jump, because it's pretty special stuff, and I would imagine they'd like to keep a few things under their hat about it. So just quickly, here are the main things with it. So they are marketing it, Katran market it as a line that mimics the bottom of the lake. So whatever it's sat on, it kind of camouflages itself to the lake bed. Now I can't 100% confirm that, because I haven't been out swimming in the lake to double check. What I have done is I've looked through an aquascope at it and I can't find it. I've dropped it in the edge, obviously, with like this little lake we're fishing now, crystal gin clear, and you can see the line in bright sun. We actually had bright sunshine today, so we've gone from -2 frozen lakes. I mean, we had to get out in the lake and smash the ice yesterday to have half a chance of getting some rods out and doing anything. And then this morning it was brilliant sunshine, the ice had all gone, and we checked the line in the edge. You can see it in about the first 6 inches, and then it just melts, it disappears. So one of my concerns was, because it reacts to light, if we've got a bright light shining on it in relatively shallow clear water, is it gonna look like a blooming lightsaber streaming through the water column? And 100% it doesn't do that. So its main advantages are for night fishing, as we'll get onto in a minute, but as I say, for day fishing, even though it can look a bit odd when it's out on the bank sometimes, in certain lights, in that water, even in gin clear water, it melts away. Now, before I go on about how it behaves in the day, I think the main purpose and the main advantages are, without a doubt, night fishing. So the headlamps that Katran do they run on a blue light. So you've got options. You've got the white light, standard head torch settings, and you've got a really brilliant blue light. And what that does is it illuminates this line like you wouldn't believe. It's literally like looking at a fluorescent beam of light going from your lead to your rod tip when you're playing a fish, especially at range. And again, on day tickets, let's be honest, a lot of these day tickets now, whether people like it or not, they're overpegged, and so you might have I don't know, 40 swims on a lake with 3 rods out, not enough water. And if you're fishing and the current trend is, rightly or wrongly, everybody's fishing 3 rods on a spot at 100, between 80 and 120 yards typically, I'd say. Now obviously on a long line, when you hook a fish, it's very, very useful to know which direction that fish is going from the off, so that you can apply the correct amount of the correct side strain to try and control the fish at range. Now, if you can't see where the line's going, for the best will in the world, it's very, very difficult to do that. Now, I can tell you that it's really, really helped. We've had, Matt in particular, had a session on Brasenose this year. I'm not going to lie, I cannot remember off the top of my head how many fish he had, but it was multiple 30-pound fish, including a 40-pound fish, on a very pressured session, fishing at probably about 125 yards. And although I know he had a few looks and inquiries, because when he was playing these fish at that kind of range, and everybody on the lake can see this massive green beam of light going across through the air, it grabs people's attention. But at the end of the day, it stopped him wiping out other people's rods. And equally as importantly, is it meant that at night he could get every rod. And I've had experience this myself. My fishing is normally, for the past 4 or 5 years, my fishing has been round about 28 wraps, fishing up to snags. And when you're putting 3 rods on a spot at night, it's very difficult sometimes to be absolutely sure that your rods are on the spot. We've all been there with the head torch on, ducking and diving, lifting the rod up, trying to see whether all the lines are going at the right angle. And sometimes you can just end up giving yourself an headache, can't you? And that, with this stuff, it's gone. You pop that blue head torch on and you can see everything crystal clear, exactly where your rods are going, safe in the knowledge that underneath that water, the line pretty much melts. As I say, I am funny about things like that, as are most UK anglers, because we've had it literally ingrained into us, rightly or wrongly. I'm not so sure that I think some of us are overly careful, but it's how we've been brought into carp fishing, so we're going to have that chain of thought. And as I say, there is nothing to worry about. This stuff is highly visual above the water and almost invisible beneath the water. So you've got the best of both worlds. As I say, you do need the blue head torch to get the full benefits from the line. But the reality is, even without the blue head torch, the qualities of this line are pretty damn special with regards to the knot strength, the diameter, and the stretch. So if you take away all the blue light business, if you take away all the visual aspects and all the rest of it, if you're just looking for a line that, I was level line casting, okay, so for those of you that don't know what that means, I don't like using a shock, I do like using a shock leader from time to time. I think it gives you more control on the cast, but there are times and places, especially when you're snag fishing, where you don't want any extra knots. So I was level line casting, so no shock leader, 4 ounce leads with a 033 diameter main line. Now that is, in English terms, round about 12-pound line, which I know you're thinking you shouldn't be snag fishing with 12-pound line. Of course you shouldn't. But this stuff breaks at 17.5 pounds at 033. Now, don't take my word for it. There's videos on the Katran website with it. What they're really good at, Katran, is they've got a lot of footage of the line being tested, so you can go along there. We'll probably link it on the listing page. We'll link the videos in the descriptions of the listing page so you can see for yourself. So this main line goes from that, at the moment 033 is the heaviest line they do in the range, but as I say, to be able to level line cast 4 ounce leads with 375 pound test curve rods, I don't mind telling you there, Fox Horizon X rods, plenty of backbone, and you would be cracking off. If I'm not the biggest caster in the world, don't get me wrong, but you would be cracking off with a lot of other main lines on the market. I know, because I've had to go through so many main lines to fine tune the setup that worked on that particular lake. So at the moment, the 033 is the highest breaking strain, but music to my ears, and a lot of anglers I know, this year it's coming out in an 037, which in English terms is like, your 17-18 pound line. So, pretty special. As I say, we'll do some more features on it soon, and look at it in a little bit more detail, try and get some decent night footage for you guys. But hope this clears up a few questions, and say, if you've got any more questions, if you want to ask about it, drop onto the Facebook page, which is the Rig Locker at Facebook. Drop us an email, theriglocker@gmail.com. or you can actually email us directly from the website. But yeah, get in touch if you've got any questions, but do not overlook this line. Give it a go, and I'm sure you'll be you'll be very happy and a lot more comfortable with your night fishing.